Good afternoon. This is Cody with our Biomechanics Journal Club 4. This week we went over magnitude and rate of mechanical loading of a variety of exercise modes by Ebum. So the research question that they had was, what would be the osteogenic stimulus across the 5 different exercise modes? Those exercise modes that they selected were walking, jogging, depth jumps, jump squats at 30% 1 RM, and a 5 RM back squats. Um, they chose 23 different participants to go through this study, and across all the participants, they looked at impulse, peak ground reaction force, and rate of force development across the 5 different modes of the exercises. And so some of the main findings that they found were that the depth jump produced the most amount of ground reaction force and rate of force development, while the squat was able to produce the most amount of impulse. The jump squat had the second highest across all evaluated criteria of impulse, ground reaction force, and rate of force development, which led them to feel that the potential for increasing bone mineral density would be the most through loaded jump squats and depth jumps or any other type of plyometric training in general when compared to walking or jogging. Um, and so some of the biomechanics concepts that I was able to identify, impulse being our newest one that we saw, but also ground reaction force, rate of force development. The use of force plates was pretty crucial in this aspect, as well as some of the kinetic data that they were able to assess through their lab. Um, and one of the more interesting things that I found when looking at some of the results was that the 5 RM back squat had the same rate of force development as jogging, which made me wonder if the common thought of squats and lifting weights are bad for kids argument could be potentially debunked or argued, um, through this type of uh, this study, since it could potentially increase their bone mineral density as opposed to affect them negatively. Um, so I thought that was pretty interesting. And this article actually had a lot of questions for me. But one of the main ones I thought was, how would their footwear affect the results if it could skew some of the data? So for me personally, I don't run in the same shoes that I squat in. Um, I have, pretty cushiony running shoes for when I'm running, and when I'm squatting, I have some fairly, hard um, shoes, squat platform shoes. They're Nike Metcons, and I would not run long distance in them. Um, so is that something that they accounted for? Because if the impact time of the softer running shoe, if the impact time is now longer because the more cushion, could that potentially affect the rate of force development or ground reaction force compared to a shorter impact time in those harder, stiffer squatting shoes or type of cross trainers. Um, so I feel like that could be something to account for in a further study where everyone wears the same type of shoe, um, or they're just doing barefoot. But that was one of the biggest questions that I had when going through this, was if that was something that they accounted for, or how could it have affected the results of the study. So yeah, thanks.